2 minutes to learn closures. My big test is tomorrow. I know I need to know certain facts, but I know I'm going to forget them. I write the answers on my hand and poof, I fix my problem. The facts I only knew outside of the classroom are now there for me when I take the test inside of the classroom. The facts on my hand are a closure. Closures provide us a way to know about the variables from an outer function that we need to know inside of an inner function, and it encloses that context and exposes it whenever that function's called. Create an outer function named counter, then create an inner function named increment. Increment should change the value of our counter by 1. We create this variable value in our outer function so it is initialized when counter is called. We then increment that value in the increment function. The closure exposes the outer function's variables to the inner function via the lexical context. So whenever increment is called, it'll be changing the same value variable. We go ahead and log this value out to the console and we return our inner function to complete our closure. Let's go ahead and create a first counter. Every time we invoke this counter function, the internal private variable will increment. This is also known as encapsulation. We know what our counter does, but we don't care about how it does it. If we call our closure function 3 times, we will see that the counter increments the internal value as expected. Let's go ahead and create a second counter, run it 3 times as well. Let's go ahead and add an ID to distinguish which counter is being used. Notice how the function parameter variable is also available in the inner function. We run the program and see that each counter counts separately since they both have been created by different function calls, giving them different contexts and different closures. Let's go ahead and add another variable named Fluffy Bunny, and we're not going to use this variable inside of our inner function. And if we go back over into our browser and we set a breakpoint here to try to inspect the contents of what we have here, we can see all of our variables except for Fluffy Bunny, and that's because the lexical context will not expose variables that you do not use in the inner function from the outer function.